Hey friends, welcome to Live with Lyssa from Embellish Studios in Watertown, Wisconsin. I'm delighted you are here to stamp with us today, and I have quite a doozy of a card to share. So pretty fancy, extra fancy fold here. 2 cards built into one, basically. It's a good chance to show off your pattern paper and your fancy circle dies. If you have the fancy circle dies from Stampin' Up, they're called Spotlight on Nature dies, and that's the stamps that I used. Very cool, very artsy, whimsical, sketched look there. And I've just made this incredible fancy fold to go with it, right? And show it all off. So let's learn how to make that together. Everything that I share today is from Stampin' Up, including all the tools that I'll be using, embellishments, glue, you name it. And it's all available at lyssa.stampinup.net. And I appreciate any orders that come my way. I'm still working on the trip to Disney, so I'm very close now. So I'm very excited watching those totals come in for the month. So yeah, but that's where I live on the internet, lyssa.stampinup.net and embellishwithlyssa.com. Okay, so let's talk about what you need to make this super duper fancy card. And it is standing up by itself, which it wants to do because it can be like a desktop card. So you'll see that it takes the envelope to hold it shut. So just be aware of that. It's going to spring open on us all day today. Excuse me. Okay, so what we're going to need, let me position that out of the way. We're going to need a regular card base of 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, so that's a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper cut in half horizontally. And that gives you your regular card. Normally we would fold that in half, but don't fold that in half because ours is not folded down the half, it's folded out on the sides. Okay, then you'll also need another piece of 8.5 by 11, but you're going to cut it this way. And this piece is measuring 4 across, so not quite in half of an 8.5 by 11, 4 across by 11 long. Okay. So we've got 2 pieces. You can kind of see already how they're going to go together. It's just the way that they're scored to have all these flaps fold down when you are ready for that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do our scoring, and then I'll walk you through the pieces of pattern paper you'll need. So you may want to grab a pen and a Post-it note or something so you can scribble down some measurements. Okay? So these, again, are a regular card base of 5.5 by 8.5 and then a 4 by 11 strip. Okay, I'm going to score the 5.5 by 8.5. Ignore these markers for right now. I'm going to score them at, I should have written that down, 2 1/8. And let's just fold it this way and do 2 1/8 again. Okay, so when those fold in, they should meet in the center, right? Now we need to fold these back on themselves. So we're going to do that one. Either you can just do it by hand by folding them back, or you can do 1 1/16, which actually we don't have 1/16 on here. So just do 1 1/8. That's fine. Let's see. 1 1/8. Okay, so you folded them in and then fold them back on themselves. All right, so we've got 2 very narrow doorways here. Then you're going to take the 4 by 11 piece, and this one gets scored at 1.5, 3.5, 7.5, and 9.5. Those are easy to remember, right? So 1.5, 3.5, 7.5, 9.5, but not in the middle. So again, they get folded towards the center and then folded back on each other, and they should just meet in the middle. Okay, that's all the scoring we have to do. So let's put that out of the way and burnish these folds so that they lie as smooth and flat as we can get them. You can burnish in both directions. That'll help weaken those paper bonds and cause it to fold more easily. There we go. One last time the right way. Same thing with our card base. Do all the folds. So this is a very heavy card. It has lots and lots of layers, so you want to make sure you're not only that your measurements are good and straight for those layers, but that your folds are very tightly creased so that they're not adding extra body to the card. Okay, so that's all there is for the basic idea. If you want to quit the video right now, you can, because you've got the basic idea. This is going to get adhered so that it has these two fun flying wings when you open the card. Isn't that cool? It's like, to me, it looks like the doors of a little saloon, right? A little cowboy saloon on an old Western show, because it's got these little swinging doors in the middle, and then the door frames are bigger. So that is the basic concept of the card. If you are in a hurry, you can just turn the video off there. But if you want to go along with me, get the measurements for the different panels and finish it off so that it looks like this beauty over here, stick around, right? Okay, so let's take those two card pieces apart, flatten this one out, and we'll start by adding our pattern paper layers. I'm using the Country Lace pack from Stampin' Up. It has lots of denim and lots of eyelet lace patterns. It's so cute. And I've chosen the basic beige pattern to go with my very vanilla cardstock that I've been using. Okay, so we've got in the middle here a regular piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's a very common measurement for us card makers, right? 4 by 5 1/4 is our basic background layer to any of our cards. So our medium-sized cards, I should say. So that's what that one is. Then we have 4 1-inch strips, and those are going to get adhered to these other two panels. So let's add some adhesive. Got it a little close to the top there. So there we go. And this is a little wonky because of the lack of a 1/16 measurement. So I am going to have to trim that one down. I should have just had you fold it without scoring it, because the scoring made it actually more complicated than it needed to be. Okay, so these are just 1 by 5 1/4. This is a good chance to use up strips that you have in your scrap bin, because that would be a good way to clean out your scrap strips and still use your pretty pattern paper. Okay, so you basically have to decorate 2 cards. 2 cards for the price of 1. 1 card for the price of 2. It's kind of more the point there. All right, here again, this is just a little bit under 1 inch, so I'm going to trim off that excess. Anybody else find it really hard to cut into your pretty paper? Even when it's just to trim off a little piece, it's like, it's so pretty. I don't want to cut it. And I just tried to keep this one very monochromatic and very elegant, so the patterns may not even be showing up very well on the camera, but it's lace, like a tone-on-tone lace print, and I'm pairing it with a tone-on-tone denim background print. Love that. Cute. Okay, I'm really not into 1/16 of an inch, but if you were, you could trim off 1/16 of an inch on those, and then they would fit absolutely perfectly. But this is close enough for me. Cute. Let me slide that one over a little bit more. There we go. Okay, let's continue with the second part of the card then. So the 4 by 11 strip that we scored at 1.5, 3.5, 7.5, and 9.5. We've got 2 larger panels on the inside, and those are, whoops, 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Cute. 3 3/4 by 1 3/4 pattern paper there. And then the outer two are 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. So a little narrower. Not difficult though, right? Once you have the measurements, this is really just basic card making stuff. Gluing paper on top of cardstock. Okay, so we have our 2 card bases totally ready to go, and you just nest the one inside the other and then double check to make sure it's even from the top and the bottom. Looks pretty good to me. And then we'll put some glue in there. Okay, pop that puppy in. Make sure it's centered. I got it a little higher that time. There we go. Isn't that cute? So fun. Love it. Now, right now it moves really freely. By the time you start adding all your extra pieces and stuff, it may get a little stiffer. But again, once you get it in the envelope and it's laid flat for a good period of time, it won't be quite so springy and buoyant as it is now. Oh dear, I let this glue down just a little crooked. Can I get it up? No. Oh, actually, no, I can still see it's a little crooked. It looks less crooked down here, but it is just slightly lower over here than it is up here. Oh, well, we're going to have to live with it this time. There's so much going on this card, I don't think anybody will notice once we get it decorated. All right, so let's do some stamping. So that's all there is for the actual card decorating. If that's where you need to stop and move on, go for it. Don't want to make you sit here and watch me stamp if you don't want to. However, if you do want to watch me stamp, go for it. I am using the Spotlight on Nature stamp set with Tuxedo black ink, just a nice black ink, on some Spotlight in Nature circles that I cut out in advance, die cut, and just got ink on my glass mat. I love the patterns here. Let me show you some of the other patterns just really quick while I got them. Here, I sat and cut a whole ton so I could just play with them. This is the fancy pattern. Then there's this cool dot, dash, and circle pattern. And then I love this one. It's just embossed lines all the way around. Very classy. And they're all nesting, so you can layer them. And there's tons of sizes. It's just a really great set of fancy circle dies if you need a set. So I've got my butterfly, I've got my thanks. Isn't that pretty? Just classy. That just looks great on cards. Okay, let's finish stamping here before I continue. I should have stamped this before I glued it down, right? Rookie mistake here. But I will go ahead and try my luck now. Stamping on the inside. Wish me luck. Hey, that one turned out. Let's see if we can get the second one. All right, not too shabby. We're calling it good. I think that's all the stamping we need. Very cool. All right, we've got our 2 layers here. So I'm going to close the card to see where I need to position those. So you put down your larger circle first, and here's where you need to decide if you're going to just have the circle on the front. That's great. Just plop it down right in the middle, right? But only adhere it to this left side so that it can still open and move freely. Okay? If you're going to have it half and half, like I did on this one, where the sentiment actually overlaps the top, a little fancier, then make sure you adhere that only down on the left where it will still close with this, right? So like if I'd adhered it to the left and then I couldn't get this closed, that would be bad. So make sure that it's adhered over so so that this can close on top of it, and then you have your sentiment. Cute, cute. Totally up to you how you decide to attach your circles. I'm going to use glue dots. I'm going to put a little row down and then a little smaller row down. I'm using the mini ones, so I'm going to use quite a few of them since they don't have the powerful grip as the regular size ones do. No particular reason for using the mini ones, that's just what I had handy. Okay, so I'm making sure I can close my panel here. And I like to keep the butterfly a secret till it's opened. Cute. And then we can decide where to put our thank you down here, up here. I like it up here. I'm always putting the sentiment down in the right hand lower corner, so let's put it up in the top there just for funsies. Use up a little piece of that edge there. Cute. I hope your mind is buzzing with ideas for this card. Now I'm going to take some of this gorgeous vanilla gold ribbon and tie myself a pretty little bow. Cute, cute, cute. That just gussies it up too. That makes it a little fancier. Got that gleam. I like to stick my bows on with mini glue dots. That they will not go anywhere, which I appreciate. I don't like it when I get a card and the embellishments are laying in the bottom of the envelope because they didn't use good adhesive or enough adhesive. All right. So pretty. Whoops. There we go. Get everything all folded in. And then see where you want to put some embellishments. What have I got for embellishments here? I thought I had, oh, here I have a whole nother pack. Classic matte dots. And how boring is that, right? Black, gray, vanilla, and white. But when you need vanilla, these are perfect. So I'm going to do one big one and two small ones on either side. Or one small one on either side. There we go. So pretty. I guess I could have used black on that too, but I'm keeping it pretty monochromatic here for my, let me make that bow a little bit smaller. There we go. Cute. So what do you think? Fancy, huh? Love it. I like fancy stuff. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. Oh, I should say I did color a little bit on this one, and then I had to cover up the back. So I had to actually sandwich two circles together because my the blends markers I used to color came right through the back, and there was big blotchy brown marks. So it's pretty, but yeah, don't do it if you are not going to back this piece. Don't do that. But I'll just show you how that looks to add a little. This is Crumb Cake Light. And it definitely does add a little something. But yeah, make sure it doesn't bleed through on there. So, okay, what do you think? Are you going to give this one a try, or was it too fancy for you? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. It's funny how many people watch the video and hardly anybody ever leaves a comment. So don't be one of those people. Leave a comment. Let me know if you were inspired or if this one is like way out of your league. No shame in that game, right? Most of the stuff I show, I hope, is a lot more simple and practical for everyday cards. But every once in a while, I like to go all out, and I think this qualifies as an all-out card. So leave me a comment and let me know. And again, if you need any Stampin' Up, I'd be happy to be your demonstrator. You can get a hold of me at lyssa.stampinup.net. All right, talk to you later, guys. Thanks for watching.